Hey, it's Chris, Ivy Studios, coming back to us with Fractured Sky and Mini Fractured Sky, or what it's actually known as is Soar. Four module expansion that I've got set up in front of me here. Short, sweet, to the point. What are they? Which ones do I prefer? Ranking all of them on my preference, as well as telling you why maybe Ivy Studios should just go into the small box game market instead, because Soar is freaking amazing. I feel like it might be better than the original. I feel like their small box games might actually be better than some of their big box games. And this is one of them? Let's talk. Okay, so the four modular expansions you can see right in front of me, they're all laid out in one camera shot. So there's no, I'm going to add and integrate stuff. No overload of components with all of the base game stuff. No, short and sweet to the point here. Four different modules, adding just like they did with Veiled Fate. But just like with Veiled Fate, I don't think they're all equal, and I don't like them all equally in that sense either. You want my preference? Okay, let's go over them really quickly, and then I'll give you which ones I would recommend. Now, if you're not familiar with Fractured Sky, I'm not going to go into all of the rules of this hidden auction bidding style mechanic of placing your flagships down, slowly gathering resources to build markets and fortresses in order to control these islands to get the most Starfall victory points. Hidden objectives, turn order, it all matters. So, how do these integrate if you're familiar with Fractured Sky in the first place? What we've got here is we've got payload, we've got flagships, we've got guardians, and now we have objectives. And so, this is the quick overview of things. The flagships, 5 of which are included, actually are drafted instead of one of the place of your normal ships that you'll be placing out on a turn-by-turn, round-by-round basis. So you only have 2 regular ones and 1 special one that is drafted in reverse turn order, and it replaces the turn order board that's out there because no longer will you get the gold in the last player slots to make up for going in turn order because you get to draft these first. They are going to be deployed to areas to change how things are developing. Your skimmers get +1. Your airship remains in a region carrying a 10. It's now considered a 7. Buildings get 1 less resource to cost. Before revealing troop power, you may move it to another region, and your other airships in this region get +3. So again, just giving you a slight asymmetry there in that way. Payload, you get to place these down, these hidden chip markers, into each of the areas, and if you so choose, as part of your resource or reward at the end of the round, based on what rank you are, you can take one of these chips, not knowing what it is, as a secret mystery plus chip, and you actually just slot it underneath your ship additionally to the other tokens that you may be playing. It's a one-time use and it's gone forever. Subsequently, any other person in that area that hasn't gotten rewards yet essentially gets bumped up 1 if you decide to take this instead of the reward that's down there. As you can see here, it ranges from a +2 to a +5, but you're stacking it underneath so you can see if other people are laying theirs out there when they're laying theirs out there. Subsequently, the Guardians, the Chris module, or the Chaos Incarnate, because these things are going to be played to areas of Starfall potential. That's kind of where they're chosen at the beginning of the round. But in order for their powers to activate, somebody has to play a starship there, not knock it over like I just did, but instead move it to another area where its power is activated. Things like in the Guardians region, first place gets an additional Starfall. Troop power limits are ignored. Swap first and second place. Do not award Starfall at all with Cinderwing, or building effects are doubled. And last but not least, 0 troop power gains +3 troop power. Last but not least are these secret objectives, which are not so secret anymore because now they're public. You don't do this, you do bounties. And these bounty cards are aligned up just like the objectives were, left to right, and they're face up. So it's a scramble to see who can get the Starfall based on it, but then subsequently the resources that are available as well. 4 buildings connect to only 2 regions, have 8+ in your gold supply, 18 troop total power across all regions, and so on and so forth. So 5 of these will be available at the beginning of the game, and you'll be able to see publicly who is claiming them and who is closest in that way. Those are all 4. What do I think of them and how do I rank them? Number 1, the end game bounty objectives in order to get more starfalls. By far and away the best addition to this game. Totally replaces the other ones. Wouldn't play without it in that sense. Just adds a whole lot more and gives a little bit more control of, well, the uncontrollable in this game in the first place with the blind bidding that people don't like as well. Is it going to get rid of any of the mechanics, or any of these going to change the base core game mechanics if you didn't like Fractured Sky in the first place? Hell no. Number 2, Guardians, by far. Just the craziness that allows for it. I actually wish there was more craziness. I wish you had more rotating. The thing I don't like is how you're playing them out, because you lay out 2 and then you move the one on the right out and then you just move the one over and then, you know, put the next one in there. So as they say in the how to play video, the first one and the last one are only going to be out for 1 round. All of the others are going to be in for 2. I don't really like that employed. You can homeschool rule it however you want, maybe to do 2 each and rotate and mix them up and shuffle and do whatever you want, but I want more of this craziness. I love that craziness. Then probably I would give the payload 3A to 3B here, depending on the game, depending on my personal mood. The asymmetric starships are fine. The additional payload here is fine, but you can see it coming. And so you can see people loading up, which I guess is a blessing or a curse, which for a hidden game like that, it kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. But these are nice in order to do a little bit more of a catch-up mechanic. The thing I didn't mention is that if you're playing with less than 5 players, one of these won't be drafted. So then you put one of the little gold tokens on, it carries over as an incentive to get other people to play with it later. That is my ranking. Those are my feelings of the Fractured Sky Awakening expansion modules. Now, let me tell you why Soar I think is even better than Fractured Sky, and why IB Studios has hit it out of the park with another small box game, and they should really just go into that market, because I have loved all of their small box games, more so sometimes than their bigger box ones, and this one is no exception to that. Now here's Soar. The concept is very similar. You have ships, you put ships down, you bid in areas, sometimes it's secret. Rinse and repeat. It's very much like, Fractured Sky. 2 to 5 players. You're also going up against an AI automa in the form of Skyborn at the same time. But the tricky part of this game is you're going to have a couple of these bid tokens, and you just get to choose 2 of them of the 3 that you have on a round-by-round basis, unless you get some of the bonus ones, which we'll talk about in a second. And you get to play 2 of them to any of these 3 quests you want. When the quest fills up all 5 spots, you resolve to see who has the highest number, and then you get the reward based on the place you're in. First, second, or third. Oh, whoa, Chris, are those negative numbers in the cards? Oh, they are. And so this is the other tricky aspect of this game. You're going, Chris, well, I can lose to the AI? Yes, but no. Because the big caveat this game that makes it so delicate and so amazing, you go, I'm going to let the AI get a lot of points because that's going to make other people not get points. Well, Chris, why would you want to do that? Because actually, at the end of the game, whoever has the lowest amount of points switches with the AI, and they get the AI's points. So the dynamic and the tension of the game actually increases towards the end. Even if you're in last place, it really becomes contentious what you're going to do from that aspect. And that is wholly dependent on the first mechanic of every single turn that you're taking that I'm going to show you right now. Like I said, you play 2 of these bid tokens. You know what your bid tokens are. Well, except for this production version. We're not really sure if that's a 6 or a 9, but they're going to fix that. Just like they're going to fix these plastic holders for the bid things, which just don't really work. They're making them wooden, and they're going to make sure this number isn't confusing. But let's pretend it's a 6 for the example here. In these squares on these quests, you'll see that there's eyes, and there's no eyes. And the eyes just mean that you have to play it face up. All the other ones you get to play face down. However, you always have to start from the beginning position over here and work your way around and place in the first position. So this one, my 2, would be placed face down. Then if I want to play my 6 face up here, I could, but let's say I want to play it here. Now this is the main aspect of this game. Then you take 1, not 2 of your ships, and you get to mark 1 of those as your own. The one that's not marked, yep, that's the AIs. And so that is the games which is going to end up being part of the scoring, because they can win points, they can lose points, and that is the dramatic effect that you're going to be dealing with. Yes, this plays 2 to 5 people, and you'll notice that there are only 3 spots for rewards. So if you tie, well, you get to split them. But if you end up having more than 3 people on an area, somebody's also not going to get a reward. After you play your 2 bids, you just redraw back up to 3 to get a full 3, not including the special ones, of course. Oh yeah, and I didn't mention the special tokens. The special tokens allow you to modify because you also get them in the rewards, the little pluses below each of these. And don't get me wrong, they're not always on the first place. You get other ones in other places like that right there, just to give you a little bit of variety. But they're going to modify all of the other ones down because you can place them down in place of your other ones as well. And this one is going to give you ×2 of the reward that you're going to be getting here in the end. You're going to be getting a +2 to all of the other values, or you can affect the first bid before you or even the next bid after you, depending on how you want to do that, just to mess with people even further when they think they've won it and all of a sudden they haven't. How you arrange these, where you decide to go, which ones you decide to play it on is all very, very meaningful. And I know there's a lot of people that don't feel as much meaning in Fractured Sky. This gives much more control, it gives much more meaning, but it still has a little bit of the hidden bluffing element. And so when you fill one of these cards up, you just total it up, you take it off, and you put a new one down. You go through all of the quests that are available depending on the number of player counts that are there, and you then just total up who has the most at the end of the game. Again, switching the AI or the, games version with the lowest player counts. And that's it. The beauty is in the simplicity. This is an amazing game. You are going to love this game if you like my tastes. This is another in the smashing line of hits, like I saw with Time to Panic, as well as Pillars of Fate, of the small box versions of their previous games. And honestly, these have impressed me more mechanistically than a lot of their bigger box ones. Don't get me wrong, I like Mythic Mischief. I love it, actually. Veiled Fate with the expansions, I'm really a big fan of it, the higher player counts. But this, Pillars of Fate, Time to Panic, these small box games are outdoing their big box versions. So if you're one of those people who looks at that and goes, I don't want to spend $150, go get this for whatever the hell this price is, and I guarantee it'll be worth the cost of admission. That's all I got. It's freaking awesome. Stay classy. Peace out. They sent it to me. Boom. Your boy's done.